In my never-ending quest to make sure that I truly do have the best products on the face of the earth, I am looking at upgrading or slightly changing the Super Soaper formula. And so I want to use this video to explain kind of why I'm even thinking this way and what the changes are that I'm looking at making. And so this product, we developed it right here on YouTube. It's been an amazing product. It's actually one of my best sellers. And so I really didn't want to change much. There's one thing that creates a lot of confusion, and there's been videos from other people about it, and that is the pH level of the product in the bottle. First test that was done is they took a pH stick and they stuck it directly in the bottle. Not recommended. Your pH is pretty high, as they noted. But that is not how the foam is intended to be used. So what I did was I just simply foamed out of the foam cannon into a bucket, because the pH level that I talk about, like I've said in multiple videos, is the pH of the foam actually hitting the surface of the car. So actually in use. So when we take a fresh pH stick like that and dip it in the liquid that's actually being used, you can see that our pH is exactly where I say, between 7 and 9, so about 8.5 in most use case scenarios. So that is the main thing, the main feature that I'm looking at possibly changing is, can we get the pH level lower in the bottle? Now, when the Super Soaper is mixed into a foam cannon and you shoot it onto the car, the pH is neutral with the current formula of the Super Soaper. And I've covered that in multiple videos. The pH is higher in the bottle because I thought it would be cool to have an adjustable pH soap so that you can clean things like your tires. You can increase the pH by adding more product into your foam cannon. You could decrease it even more if adding less soap and all that. And really, it's all about having a touch-free or a touchless or a touch-it-less, depending on the condition of your current car, formula. So that's great. So the one tweak I wanted to do, because I'm a big fan, and one thing I've learned in the past is don't get high on your own supply. And so I'm constantly looking to make sure that my products remain the best. And so one thing I brought up to Walter is, can we keep all the good features about the Super Soaper that I currently love and you guys love, and just make it somehow pH neutral or as close to pH neutral as possible in the bottle? Right? So that's all I'm trying to change, is can we make it pH neutral in the bottle and still have it perform perfectly? So if we take a pH stick, there we go. So if I take that and I look on the pH scale, we're probably about a 10. As that dries a little bit, a 10. Whereas the current, well, let's just do it right here. The current Super Soaper, so it's about a 14 currently. So I want to take it from a 14 to a 9 or a 10 in the bottle. Again, no one uses it straight out of the bottle, so it doesn't really matter in the bottle. What really matters is when it's actually hitting the surface of your car. However, so in this video, just a little behind the scenes of what I do here at my shop. So I had Walter make me up a new sample. I mixed 4 ounces into a foam cannon. I have a extremely dirty car here that is not ceramic coated, and we're gonna see if the new sample of the Super Soaper can clean as good as the current formula that is for sale of the Super Soaper. We all know, like, love, and trust that. I don't wanna change any of the features other than the pH. What we will lose in that, honestly, is like the browning of the tires. And obviously that adjustable pH feature, but in selling it, what I'm finding out is most people don't use it like that. Most people would like to see a pH neutral in the bottle soap that still cleans as a touchless or touch-it-less formula. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. Try it out, see how we are, and if it works, we'll try it on a few more cars, and then I will eventually, if it's all things are good, I will either replace this Super Soaper formula on the next batch, or I'll keep the current formula and everyone will just have to figure out the higher pH in the bottle. How about that? All right, so even with the sample, a few things that I wanna make sure that are still happening, because they currently do with the current Super Soaper formula is direct sun, dry car. I want to make sure there's no staining. I want to make sure it dwells and sticks. So that's what I'm looking for. Good foaming action, which the foam is great right away. That is one other area that I'm looking at too, is one other complaint, or one complaint that I do get is some people wish that you could use less than 4 ounces in a foam cannon, even though I've shown before you don't need to use a whole foam cannon. But that is also one thing I'm looking at doing too, is can we make it so you could use a little less soap in the bottle to keep it more cost effective, or a little bit more cost effective. I have no idea which way the wind is going today. I'm just getting blasted every which way. All right, laid it on pretty thick. The current instructions are to wait 3 to 5 minutes. I'm gonna just retouch this rim a little bit because I just don't want it to dry completely on the surface. But even back here, direct sun, this panel was hot. The soap isn't drying out abnormally fast. It is kind of taking the dirt and sliding off. So on all fronts, it's looking identical to the current Super Soaper formula, which is really great. So I'm interested to see how clean the car gets. But so far, it's really good. So yeah, I'll give it a few more minutes of dwelling on the surface and then rinse it away. But again, this is a non-coated car. It lives outside, and it was really dirty, as you saw. So it's a pretty good example of what the current Super Soaper would be able to clean up without a problem. So it's only been a couple minutes, but it's really hot on outside today, and it's warm on this side specifically as getting the sun. And I don't want it to streak at all. So though it's probably only been 3 minutes, I'm gonna rinse it off and see how it's doing. Literally, I start spraying one way, it blows right into my face, so I'm like, oh, I'll go the other way, and then it starts blowing in my face over there too. Like, the heck? as we've done with Super Soaper and all the testing, a clean, dry towel. It's funny, I never saw anyone do this before, and then I just thought of it and did it, and now I see other people do it with like a paper towel too. Oh man, this car needs to be clayed. Maybe a tiny little bit here. It's hard if that's just water. Let's see. Oh no, that's pretty dang good. Let's take it down the side of the car and see how it looks on this door. Yeah, definitely some dirt. Okay. Definitely some dirt. So we might not be able, and I could even see, it might be really hard on camera, but you could definitely still see some dirt on this back panel. Though it's not terrible, you could definitely still see it on the glass. Again, really not bad though for how extreme this car was. I think that's one thing I'm learning with these touchless or touchless products, is that it really depends upon the condition of the car and what the condition of the car is. And so sometimes people aren't looking for or managing expectations is really the name of the game. Even with the current formula of the Super Soaper, managing the expectation of how dirty a car actually can be for you to only foam it up once and then rinse it. I noticed that some key factors like deionized water help the formulas to work a little bit better, the soap formulas and stuff like that. I do want to let this one, because I do use deionized water, I'm going to let this car dry out a little bit more and see the result that we can get, or what the result is with it dry. And then maybe what I'll do is like a second foam and see if that second foam really does the trick too. Actually, as I see it drying, it's actually cleaned up a lot. A lot. Though we saw some still on the towel, it's actually done a really, really good job, especially for a first resample of it. But let's let it dry and then kind of see what the result is. One thing I did want to know about not pre-rinsing the car and just going straight to dry foam, without a doubt, whether it's this sample or the current Super Soaper formula, without a doubt, what the soap is doing, even if you don't get a perfect touch-free wash, what it is doing is making there significantly less junk on the paint. So then if you do go to your 2-bucket wash method or whatever, foaming the car first without pre-rinsing is undoubtedly the safest possible way to wash your car. So whatever you do, don't pre-rinse. Just go straight to dry foam. Even if you're doing a 2-bucket method, that pre-rinse is definitely where it's at. So I'm gonna let it dry. We'll see where we're at here in a few minutes after at least this side dries. So as it dries, we're starting to see more and more kind of dirt come to the surface, but it's definitely broken down dirt. We're more so seeing that traffic film. And so again, the purpose of this video was just to let you in kind of behind the scenes of what I'm constantly doing to make sure the Jimbo's line of products are met to my standard and even exceed my standard. And so I don't think that this current sample meets where the current Super Soaper formula is. I think the current Super Soaper formula is better than this sample. But I will say, I mean, it cleaned this car up significantly. It just didn't clean it up to my standard of where I want it to be. But again, that's part of the fun of developing and continuing to be objective even within my current line of products. So being objective, not being high on my own supply, is something that I'm always kind of teetering and walking that line. So I hope this video was just fun for you more than anything, to kind of let you in behind the scenes of what I'm doing. Obviously, also, I'd like to say this is just one test subject. And so each formula, each iteration, I do have to try it on multiple cars in multiple different situations. So I think it got the car, 80% clean today. I was hoping for 100%. But again, this is just one example of testing it. So throughout the week and multiple weeks, I will continue to test this sample. I'll send Walter some feedback. He'll give me more samples, and we'll continue to test to see if we can get the pH neutral right, and then you know, kind of go from there. But for now, the current Super Soaper formula is solid. I just would like to bring down that pH. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on this video, if you like this kind of stuff or not. And of course, you can check out all the Jimbo's detailing products. I'll leave a link for those below. Thank you for your continued support for that. It allows me to do stuff like this. So I really appreciate that. Catch you on the next one. See ya.